I'm excited about the topic today. Should we get to it? Are you ready?
Yes.
Shop showdown, dealerships versus independents. Who has the advantage? So today we're going to do dealerships, and then in the next episode, you're going to have your rebuttal.
I have to wait a whole week for all this pent up.
I'm going to pound this into you today.
You're going to need some
Obviously,
recovery time.
independents have the advantage. Obviously.
Independents have the advantage?
Obviously.
Don't you want to hear
clearly.
my list first?
Your list is probably like, I'm going to make a prediction. Half of the items on your list are funded by a very large corporation and a huge budget.
What's the conspiracy theory with that? I don't understand.
There's no conspiracy theory.
Funded by what?
Well, you'll see. Read your list. What's number one?
What's number one on my list?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are talking about who has the advantage, dealerships or independent shops? Who has the advantage, right? So the first advantage that dealerships have is they can sell them a car,
They're lucky they get to sell them the car.
but they can sell them a car.
Well, they can, and they do.
Yeah, so it's the circle of life, right?
Yes.
So if a car needs more work than it's worth, they can just walk up to the sales department.
I'm thinking of a statistic that I've heard on the show numerous times of the retention that dealerships have after 3 years on the service drive. What's that
home
number?
field advantage.
Yeah, well, is that?
I call it
another-
home field advantage.
Okay.
So
So dealers are really good at service retention after the car's out of warranty, right?
no, in most dealerships, service is an afterthought, but they have the advantage. I'm not saying they use the
Oh,
advantage.
so they don't actually exploit it.
No,
Oh, okay, I can understand
they do
that.
not exploit it, but they could if they wanted to.
Oh, absolutely, they could. Could you imagine if dealerships put the time and effort into servicing the customers that they had rather than trying to sell new cars, what that retention would do? Like, I just imagine, like, all the money they put into marketing.
Not only could I imagine that, I stay awake at night thinking about it.
And that
Yeah.
the sales would happen organically if they took just
Okay,
great care
but
of the customers.
do you agree that that's an advantage? I'm not saying that they use the advantage, but it is an advantage.
I just have to clarify one thing. Is there a bet going on here that you're going to get me to your side of this fence?
Yes.
I have to concede on this one. It is an advantage.
Okay. Yeah, it's clearly an advantage. I don't think that's too much of a stretch, right?
Okay.
Okay, the next one is perks.
See,
Dealerships have more perks for the customers than independents. Example, loaners.
because the cars break down so much, they need to put them in loaners.
Listen, loaners,
Okay.
shuttles.
Everybody has access to shuttle drivers.
Okay, but the other one I have here is people for contingencies. So let's say in most independent shops, if there's 3 customers that need a shuttle at the same time, in a dealership you can pull a cashier, you can pull somebody from somewhere, but usually
I guarantee you can find somebody from the parts department not doing anything, but that guy probably has a nose ring,
So
tattoos.
you do agree that there's somebody sitting around in parts that could be pulled, which creates more perks for the customer because they're sitting around.
Especially because that person's probably going to try to sell the marijuana on the way home.
What?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
Selling marijuana.
That's how parts profits rise, is they funnel marijuana through the shuttle drivers on the way home. It's
And if
pre-packed.
the customer says no, is that a lost sale?
Yeah, it would count against the closing ratio.
Got it.
It is legal in California. Just saying.
Interesting.
It's legal in a lot of states, I think. Colorado, Washington. I don't know what else.
Okay, so I agree with your perks. Now, I've walked into some dealerships and I look around and I'm like, who is paying for all this?
Did I say car wash?
No,
did not
but it's a
say
good
car
one.
wash.
Perk, car wash.
Automatic or hand wash?
I actually, we had a dealership as a client that had a movie theater.
Yep. Seen it before.
Really?
Movie theater.
Is it closed down
How many
now?
independent shops have movie theaters?
Well, it depends. Does an iPad count as a movie
No.
theater?
Like a real movie theater.
Like lounge chairs,
Yeah.
popcorn, all that?
Oh yeah, popcorn,
smell.
cookies.
Spunkmeyer's.
A
are the
lot of
best.
dealerships
Yeah.
have cookies,
Well, some independents do too.
coffee.
Okay.
I've seen a sushi bar at a dealership before.
The espresso machine I have here in the safe house, any independent shops have that?
We will soon. Coming to Freedom Auto Repair
Really?
in 2020, quarter 4.
Okay, so
That's a tie. I'm not giving you perks.
what?
That's a tie.
Wow.
Please explain.
Because anything on that list, okay, I don't care. I could beat your 3 people standing around. If 15 customers needed a ride at the same time, I could handle that. We have Uber, we have Lyft, we have bicycles, we have scooters, we have tricycles, we have red wagons, we have my car, 2 of our loaner vehicles.
That's interesting because number 3 I had on here is that independent shops think that customers want to ride tricycles.
You wait, are you serious? Let me see that.
Red Rider.
Oh my gosh.
So you're
brand
saying
it.
that customers want to ride tricycles and bicycles.
Absolutely. It's a
Okay.
new era of transportation. Do you agree that
So
transportation
basically
is
you're
changing?
conceding.
No,
Okay.
it's a tie. I'm not giving you that one. Not giving it on that one.
Next one I have is expertise. And this is a long list.
Expertise at fixing the same car over and over again.
Yeah, so you're in an independent shop, one day you see an F-150 pickup and the next day you see a BMW 3 Series. And so you don't have the special tools for the BMW. Sometimes you don't have all the diagnostic equipment. So in a dealership, you have the tools, you have factory training,
Okay.
you have bulletins and warrant, you have access to.
Wait, are you telling me that the dealership has access to the bat phone to the engineers that built the car?
Yeah,
Essentially.
basically, yeah. So you're gonna have some sort of technical
Nice.
support.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
That's a pain for me right now. I mean, obviously, you guys know, being an independent shop owner, that sometimes I have the duty of fixing the hard cars.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do you have on that list? With
You have a
expertise?
parts department. So the parts department's there.
Are you
If-
actually saying the parts department is an
yeah.
advantage?
So hypothetically, in a dealership, if you have if you're a Ford dealer and you have a lot of F-150s and they go through brakes a lot, you have those brakes and rotors there. If the parts manager's doing his job, you're gonna have the stuff that is needed that you see trends of. They're gonna be right there in the back. You just walk back and somebody's gonna hand you that. They're gonna put it on a repair order, and
It's a pretty big
you don't have to
if.
go somewhere to get it or wait for it to be delivered. It's right there.
I will say that the
So
parts.
special tools,
Okay.
factory support,
Okay.
right? Factory training, so they train the techs. The techs are only working on specific cars.
Okay.
Even in some dealerships, like we have clients that have like Ford dealerships, the technicians not only work on Fords, but they will only do suspension.
Right.
Or they will only do transmissions. Or, oh, I'm a drivability guy. And you're like, well, there haven't really been a lot of drivability concerns in the last 5 years. Well,
Whoa,
that's
wait.
what I do.
I'll wait.
Yeah, I'll wait. So
It's a Ford.
they
It obviously has
specialize. It's a huge
drivability
advantage.
concerns.
Because that guy knows everything about drivability ever on a Ford in the history of drivability ever being an issue.
I really feel like you stacked this against me. Like, you had to go first with dealerships because expertise. I have to concede.
I did not consider that going first would be an advantage. I actually thought going second would be an advantage. I would have happily gone last.
You're gonna bias the audience just because you're going first.
I think going last biases the audience, don't you, Christian? I always want to go
Our
last.
experience is that the person that goes last usually has the biggest impact.
Yeah, but
So I mean, there is an end game to all this, and
the
you know.
facts are the facts. Like, you're gonna win on the facts or you're not. Going first, I don't think matters.
Okay,
So do we concede that one?
so you're 2 for 3 right now.
How many times have you had to call a dealership and ask them for a tool?
I don't do that.
What do you do when you don't have a special tool and you can't get the thing off, the widget off the thing?
I go to my toolbox and it's in there.
So
But I'm
all
a
the,
different
so
kind
you're
of
saying
shop
all
owner.
the special tools we buy from the factory that they force us to buy
Wow.
are useless?
Well, I'm saying a lot of times you can engineer it yourself for like pennies on the dollar.
Interesting.
There's more than one way to get set cam timing.
Technology is amazing. My grandfather and I were
I
just
like
talking
it. I'm
about,
in your head.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because you're like, oh,
I
you
would
know,
be
I didn't
afraid
get
if
to
he
go
was in my
first.
head.
Yeah, so my grandfather and I were
This
talking
reminds
the
you
other
of your grandfather?
day. It might.
Another segue.
You didn't hear that 30 seconds
Yeah.
ago?
I did. I tried to step on it, and he came right back. This reminds me, Jeremy. This reminds me of my grandfather, who was a fireman, by the way. Special tools.
It's got to be loose. It's got to be a loose.
Jeez.
But yeah, he told me that I was too wrapped up in technology, and I called him a hypocrite and unplugged his life support.
What's even better is you couldn't get it out without laughing.
Dang it! Practice.
Okay, so I like it. I'm in your head because you're already kind of conceding. You're like, oh, he got to go first. Like you're giving all these signs.
Same way that you're doing with the audience by going first. See, it's all the power of
I
NLP.
think
it's
our
all the power
audience
of
is-
NLP and persuasion.
our
That's what
audience
this
is
all about.
50-50, I think. So
Okay.
I don't know, too, like when we're done with this list, I want you guys to put in the comments what you think we missed on the list or what your thoughts are, right?
Great thought. Yes.
Okay, so the next one I have is it dealership service departments or one-stop shops.
Unless you have to order parts.
How many tires have you done in the last month in your shop?
I don't do tires.
Most of the independent shops we talk to don't do tires, alignments. They don't have a body shop. So even if a dealership doesn't have a body shop, they will have a relationship with the body shop that they get kickbacks from for sending them the business, right? So they're a one-stop shop, full circle.
This is a tie as well. Because anything that the dealership can do like that, independents can provide as well.
But let's just say you wanted to exercise your home field advantage and you wanted to be a one-stop shop. It would be very inconvenient for a customer to go to your shop to get the widget replaced and then go here to get tires. And
Correct.
like it is an advantage. Do we not agree? How well they execute on it is a
I see.
secondary.
I'm sorry. So we're just talking about is it an advantage, not how well they execute. So execution is completely different then.
Well, in anything, right? You talk about NFL teams. Some are good and some aren't. Like,
All right, I'll concede on this one with the footnote that understanding that consumers are shifting and they do want more convenience wrapped up in their service experience.
what does that mean? They want to go to Costco to get their tires and they want to come to you?
Well, I mean, there is a certain segment of the market that wants to go to Costco, but at the same time, if we're servicing, say, 150 cars a month, that's 150 set of tires that are going to be sold at some point in time. How do I tap into that market if I want to provide it? So if, and dealerships numbers are a lot larger, like they may work on 1,500 cars a month, so it's a natural add-on there. I think it's just, is it an advantage to have one stop under one roof? Absolutely.
Well, I think, and I don't know if you guys experience this in a day-to-day thing just in your personal life, but the one thing that people don't have is time.
Right.
And so a lot of times dealership, the tires will be more expensive, but a customer isn't going to spend another 2 hours, meet somebody they don't trust, go through the process. Maybe it's done right or not, and they have to come back. If they have a relationship with the dealership and they trust them, they'll pay a little bit more for the tires just to save the time and have it done. And if the car's there for the morning or there for the day, why not just have it done while it's here? Right. And so it is an advantage.
So, I mean, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and I think it's, in today's consumer, time is greater than money. So if I can save you time, it's worth dollars. And those are companies that are becoming billion-dollar companies overnight have found a way to save consumers time, and that is translated into dollars. So You're absolutely right there. I can't tell you how many customers buy their tires somewhere else and they don't want to go back there for the rotation simply because it's inconvenient, right? It's more convenient to have us do it.
If a customer needs a body shop, what do you do?
I have a Quality Auto Body right down the street that I...
Plug for Quality Auto Body.
And Richard does a great job.
Thank you so much for watching this clip of Service Drive Revolution. Now you can catch the full episode on YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify, or wherever you consume your podcast. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified when we post new episodes. I'm Chris Collins, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Chris Bulldog Collins. And I'll see you again on the next episode.